What's up, makeup minions? I'm Witte from WitteArtistry, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, please smash that subscribe button so you don't miss any new videos. This is a really easy one for Halloween, so let's begin. If you like me and like my videos, it means a lot if you choose to become a sponsor on my Patreon page. Alrighty, super simple makeup today, really fast, really easy. I think it took me like 20 minutes. I decided to only use Mehron products just because I wanted to get used to a new palette before I did a very involved character transformation video, which will be coming out later this month because I've been recording like mad for October and September and August, so yeah. Here is, I'm basically drawing an outline of what's going to be a fissure in my hand, like a big hole. I started off drawing it with an eyebrow pencil, then I just carefully traced it with some Mehron aquacolor black. Then I'm adding cracks at selective corners. And basically what I wanted to do is pretend like my hand is a crackable surface with depth. So I'm going to be creating that illusion just using the Mehron Cream Foundation palette. I'll put the specific name, and all the links to all the products are always in the description if you ever want to get something or something piques your interest. But I am using a mid-tone brown just to create what I'm going to call a ledge from now on. So I created a ledge on the entire left side of that fissure and then a portion of the right side. Basically, picture like if you could cut out a cake or a pumpkin, you see like a ledge. That's what I've created. And then I wanted a piece of the ledge to be present on the palm of my hand just to add a little bit of extra pizzazz to the illusion. Now with a light cream color, basically the lightest they have, I'm going to be going over the top edge of the ledge to create a highlight. And go over that little cake piece up on your hand as well. Now I kind of want to do a cake illusion. Should I do a cake illusion of a hand? I think I should. But I'm outlining the edges just with that highlight very carefully. I'm using a detail brush practically the entire time. I just got these at Michael's. I have most of my paint brushes are cheapo craft ones from Walmart for covering large spaces. Then I have a handful of like really tiny brushes like this one that I got from Michael's that are like $6 or $7 a brush. And now I am using a slightly lighter brown tone to highlight selective areas of that depth wedge. And then where it curves in, there's going to be a shadow. So I'm using a darker brown just to go over selective areas like that, where it's concave. Then I am outlining the bottom part of that little extra piece just so it has a cast shadow. Then I am blending out the highlights and then adding a little bit of a mid-tone onto the top of that square as well. I messed up a little bit, so I just kind of blended it out and just redrew a little cake piece. Basically, I just wanted it to be a three-dimensional, slightly rounded, rectangular shape that looks like it's resting on my hand instead of just a rectangle. Then with a lighter medium brown, I am highlighting more of the little lumps on the little wedge pieces just to give it more dimension. In the concave areas, it's always going to be darker, and then the convex areas is going to have a highlight. Now, for realism's sake, it's very important that you blend out the highlights along the edges of the ledge. So I'm just using a square chisel brush to blend that out into my hands so it just looks like my skin. Then I am blending the highlights slightly on all of the ledge pieces. Now adding extra white onto selective areas of the ledge just to create a more intense highlight. It's kind of a little bit of a layering game with this cream makeup. It's so liquidy. Oh, it blends so nicely. This was the first time I was using this palette, so I was just playing, testing it out, wanted to do an illusion, and this stuff blends like a dream. That's great and all for blending, but it's also a little bit of a downside because you have to make sure you set it really well with a powder or a setting spray or both. Now I am using black just to very carefully outline the bottom of that extra ledge piece just to give it even more of a drop shadow. And I am now emphasizing the little cracks that go out onto my hands with their own highlight and their own little shadow, just like the rest of the fissure. And voila! Like magic, you are all done. This was really cool, and I want to do more illusions that involve sort of like this ledge effect or like carved in, especially with this palette, because holy cow, I love it. But hope you guys are having a great fall, and let me know if you want to see anything else. And also, huge shout out to my wonderful Patreon producers. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for believing in me and funding my dream. I love you, and I'll see you next video.